Hello there. So we're looking at SNES GSS, two windows open, Super Nintendo, music for it. Let's do it. Okay there. So on the right we got a window. It's kind of like a cooking shelf style. I'm not sure if I'm going to go to exactly this level of detail, specificity, but this is like a pretty good example of what you can do with SNES GSS. I'll just play it back real quick. Right, so that's got panning, volume changes, arbitrary volume changes. It's got notes, it's got rests, it's got chords, and it's got portamento. So that's a pretty good example. So the first thing you want to do, pretty obviously, is you want to download SNES GSS. So it's only Windows. So I don't know if that's a problem for you if you got a dual boot situation. I know it's not too hard to set up on a Mac, maybe, but if you got a dual boot situation, you got a virtual machine, it shouldn't be too taxing on your system. But you download it, open it up. It's just a zip file with some files on there. So you got it going. So this is a tracker. I'll explain this view. But the first thing you want to do is you want to get some instruments in there. So I might fast forward through some of this, but this gives you pretty good control over the samples. You got different downsampling, you got the sample length, you got how it's sampled, converted to a BRR file or whatever, which is that BRR is it's not whatever. It's the format that the Super Nintendo uses. This is the volume envelope. These are loop options. This is actually kind of hard to control because you can't just move the you can't zoom into the wave and get really in there, but you can create instruments. They have a proprietary instrument format. GSI is what it's called. But what I do is just load a WAV file. So let's just load all the instruments in here. Okay. So you just select the instrument number, and then you pick the WAV file you want. This is based on the file name. You can change the instrument name if you want. Like, for example, let's just call this kick just to make that more apparent. So you press it and you just click on it. What I'm going to do is, you want to make sure they're 2x. I'm not sure why it does that way. But that seems to be the closer to the real pitch. So these don't matter as much since they're not notes, but obviously you want to have the sample that you recorded. So I just make these in Ableton Live. Just use the instrument, just play a note, export the wave, and then I edit it in Audacity. Not Audacity. I'm sorry, Adobe Audition. So these are just a little synth brass sample. That's actually sorry. Yeah, sounds a little dusty in there, but. And this is one that I create to loop. It doesn't sound so great. I'm just gonna let it have that little clicky thing there. So I'll just show you. I'm not going to use the envelopes, but I'll just show you if you're attack. So it's attack, decay, sustain, release. So this is you can see it start to work on the wave there. If you're familiar with synthesizer envelopes, this is pretty intuitive, but its attack is just how slowly it comes in. Decay is how it starts to decay after it hits after you press the note, and then sustain is how long it stays at its maximum volume, and then release is how long it takes to fade away after the note is pressed. So actually that's a bad example, right? Let me do it with this. Yeah. So you can hear that's changing the note values. I'm just going to reset all these. Okay, so we got our instruments, right? We got all our instruments here. This is the song list. We're just gonna be working with one little song thing, so it doesn't have patterns like a normal tracker. So these are just little snippets that you can output. Then info. This is just how it's using the SBC memory. I haven't messed with this as much as I would just be using this to make songs and not input them into games proper. So shout out to Bubbles App. I don't know who Bubbles App is, but it seems like he's actively working on this, because as I was going to download this to make this, as I was going to open this to make this video, I thought, let me look and see if there's a new version, and there's some improvements, which is cool. So you got the SBC has 8 channels, so that's 8 different samples that can play polyphonically at the same time. If you're making a song, realistically, you only want to use 6 channels, because you're going to need room for sound effects in your game. So this is just the row number. This is just what row you're on. That L is the loop point. You control that with Control Home. Pressing Control Home shifts that. That's where it starts after it loops, right? So let me put this back here, and then I'm just going to say Control End controls the loop point, so that's where the actual loop stops and it goes back to the beginning. Sorry, I just had some soda, y'all. So on your keyboard, it uses also the QWERTY row, but the row Z to the question mark, and the row, that is a keyboard, which is kind of like a lot of programs do that. So Z will give you a C. So this is okay, each channel, let's just go through. Row numbers, you got speed. This is it's set to 20 by default. So you got the note, so C, D, E, and then 4. Number 4 is the octave. So you this bottom row, you can play a note, the Z through question mark. I just use that row, and then I shift octaves with on the number pad, it's the slash and the asterisk. So I go up. So it's not really much use when you're doing drum stuff. But C4 is where it starts. I think they actually recommend you sample it in the note B. There's some weird exact value, like 79 cents. You have to shift the sample up, but I haven't messed with that yet. Maybe I should, but I haven't done that yet. So you got C. This is the note. This is the instrument number, so we'll say 1. And then this is the volume, so we'll leave that default for now. And then this is the effect that you want. So this is a letter like P, V, S, or whatever. This is the effect value. So the effect is stuff like panning, portamento, other stuff that the SBC can do. It can't do echo. I'm gonna say yet. I don't know what Bubbles App be doing. But anyway, so let's just put some notes in here, see how it works. So I just put some C's. This is how we had it set up. I might open the other song periodically to check. And we'll put instrument number 2. We'll just 1, 2. We'll alternate like that, and then we'll say 3 here, and we'll just say C, 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 C. Oh, 1 is rest. That press the button 1. That's a rest. I'm at triple dash. Oh, I had it on 2. So 3 is the snare, and 3 is the snare, yeah. So F5 will play back. And it doesn't update live, so you're going to have to just stop it and play it back. So let's reduce this to 20. That's actually, so we can show that the volume changes arbitrarily. Let's say 80, and then make all these 20. So once you set a value, it'll be the same until you change it again. So 80, 20, and then let's just copy this. So you click and drag and press Control C, and just Control V. So that's the volume amount we're changing. So let's just listen to that. So that sounded pretty good. Or that's like normal sounds. let's just, if you want to isolate it. So if you click where it says channel, it'll mute the channel. And then if you control click, I think it's control click. Oh, alt click, shift click, right click. Oh, right click, just right click on the channel. Then it'll solo that channel. That's what you got. So let's make this 32. So once again, control N. That lengthens your piece. Let's just click and drag this. Control C. Control V there. So let's just show that we can manipulate the panning so it's S. I guess it's P is Portamento. So let's make this 0 will be the leftmost, I believe. And then S, and let's make it 99. 99 will be the rightmost. So let's just so that's pretty cool. That like just changed in the last version. They added that panning thing, which is pretty cool. So now let's add some notes in there. We'll spatialize them. So we'll just do C, E, G. That's a C chord. We'll do it like that. That's what I did. E, G. Put a rest here. And then we'll say instrument 3, I think it was. No, 4. 4. Then just press F5. Okay, so first thing we want to do, we want to lower that. So let's make this 10. We'll say 0.5 even, just because it's 3 instruments playing simultaneously. And then we're going to add something else on top of that. So as you heard, so let's just copy this. That's what we had. And then this one, we're just going to change this to A. C, so B is G, and N is A. Delete that. So that will make it ACE. That's an inversion of the 6 chord. So it's going to be C and A, which is the 6 in the key of C. So a little music for you. That's just like a you can say that the 6 chord is not really moving that much because it's almost the same thing as a major 7 chord, but it's just a minor chord that's easy to go to. It's music, y'all. I can't teach you music theory. So F5, let's play back. So I gotta copy that. Copy that. And F8 is to stop that. So this is a subtler thing. I'm gonna press S. This is the stereoization, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna put this at 10, this at 30, and this at 60. So it's like kind of space that out a little. Okay, so then let's just add the melody. I forgot what the melody was. I think it started with E. What I had did. A, D, E, B. So that's just music, y'all. You gotta know that. I don't know how to tell you that. E. So I did an E6 because it's a high note. Then I gotta make this double the length. So that's 64, right? Go to 64, Control N, extend that. Extend that. And you select everything. So this is a kind of a pain in the ass to select everything. Normal trackers do what's called patterns. So we could just have this, 32 1 and then copy that pattern, then add the second note. I don't know. Different patterns work different ways, but different trackers work different ways with patterns. But this is a little bit annoying. It's not that bad actually. So B, and then we'll say 5, right? So then we'll play it back. So I forgot to take this out. play it back again. So now we're going to add the portamento. So you don't want to add it on the first note. It will just create silence. So I put P40. P40 is in the middle. 99 is fastest and 0 is slowest. And then to make sure the note repeats again, you want to turn it off. Press 0 and then it should restart again. If you don't put that P0, it won't play the E note again. So that click is a little bit annoying of the sample repeating, but bear with me for now. Put it down to 50, just it's very loud. Okay, so that's it actually. That's pretty easy. That's trackers. Trackers, I mean, you may not be used to them if you're used to Audition, Audacity, Ableton Live, but they're pretty intuitive if you let them take over your mind. I don't know whatever you want to call it. So it looks like they add all this stuff. You can import stuff from Family Tracker. I just saw that. And then you can export. I just noticed this. You can export, and it exports binary files and header files and stuff, which is pretty cool. So what I actually do, I'll show you how I convert the Super Nintendo file. This is maybe a dumber way to do it. So I export SPC. Let's just call it no shuriken mode example song. Right, and we'll put this on the desktop because I don't know what to do with it. So we have that there. What I do, I think I showed this in the last video. I'll show it again. So this is just the SPC player. This is some dude named Mick or Mike had some code showing an SPC protocol. I'm not sure how efficient it was. Again, this is not stuff I've used for an actual game. I just test SPC files in this. So you see there's big blue in here. I got some ones I made. So that's the example song, right? Then we just say, let's copy the file name. Right, so then this is the main file. The main code file. We just copy the file name we had in there. And then this one comes with a bat file. Yeah, so you can see that that's much more accurate to what we were, or in my experience, it's pretty accurate to what you get in the tracker thing, compared with Schism Tracker, which is can be a little bit trickier to get accurate, but that's pretty cool. So that's SNESGSS. The next thing we're going to look at is using Schism Tracker and then converting the IT file with SNES Mod Lite. We'll do that next time. Bye-bye there. Bye.